Hey guys, it's Ruben here today with a video on Forza Horizon 6. I got to play the full game early thanks to Xbox Game Studios sending me a review copy. And after playing around 20 plus hours, I wanted to share my impressions of the game and whether it's worth your time and money. Let's start with the story. It's pretty similar to Forza Horizon 5 where the player character comes to Japan and you're tasked with racing all around in big Forza events to unlock wristbands that signify hierarchy in the racing community. The goal is to climb the ranks and become a Horizon legend by the end of the game. So pretty much there's no story here. It basically serves as a tool to showcase the spectacle races, and there's not even that many cutscenes in the game as well. So don't expect something like Need for Speed Most Wanted back in the day where there's an overall narrative structure. It's bare bones, but it gets us into the racing world in Japan. You can engage in side stories that showcase some Japanese racing history, which have a lot more dialogue in those races and activities. Moving on, we got to talk about the overall map. It's pretty big and has 10 regions. The final region is unlocked after reaching Horizon Legend. The game does a beautiful job of showcasing Japan and looks great. This ranges from urban city areas to the countryside, snow-capped mountains, etc. I quite enjoyed my time exploring the map whenever I had the chance, as it does have a ton of content you can engage yourself in. This includes road racing, dirt racing, cross-country racing, touge racing or tuge racing, street racing, drag racing, time attack, as well as the side activities like speed traps, speed zones, drift zones, danger signs, and trailblazers. There are a bunch of collectibles as well. These include treasure cars, barn finds, aftermarket cars, which are basically cars sold on sale, mascots that can be run into, boards you can smash for experience, side jobs you can take for deliveries and stuff, landmarks, houses and estates you can buy and customize, as well as online events. Now, I couldn't test the online as I couldn't get into a single online race or event, sadly. And so my experience is strictly solo gameplay. Now, I mentioned estates earlier. These are similar to the villas you buy in Forza Horizon 5. The only difference is you can pretty much use building mode to customize how the villa looks. You can add multiple garages, changes the look outside, etc., etc. You can even build custom events to invite people over, but since I couldn't really get into online races, I really didn't bother with this stuff. And another major reason is I don't really like building things in games, so I kind of never used this feature. While the map does have an extensive amount of content you can engage in, my biggest issue with the game is the main story missions or events. There are just too few of them. There's a total of 7 wristbands to collect, and that means you'll get about 7 special events or races. I think there might be an 8th one, for the start of the game. These races are special as they are more of a spectacle and a visual treat. Dynamic things happen during these events. For example, in one event, you'll be racing against the clock while in the background a rocket is preparing to launch into space. Or in another event where planes are flying alongside you as you race to the marker. One plane even follows you into a tunnel, which was kind of really cool. My favorite event was the race against the giant mech robot. This thing was just running in front of the player, causing wreckage to literally everything it ran into, and it was just really fun to experience. Now, these events are similar to the special events in Forza Horizon 5, like the one where you had a sandstorm you have to run through or race through, or where you're running through an active volcano or exploring a volcano, kind of similar to that. Dynamic moments like this only happen in these special Horizon events to level up your wristband. Of course, side stories have their dialogue and many dynamic moments, but it doesn't really match up to the spectacle seen in these big events. But that's my problem. There's not enough of it. Meanwhile, in Forza Horizon 5, we had like 3 to 4 special events for each race type, like the road racing or Baja racing. We got well over 15 plus events in that game, which was nice. Here, there's only 7 or 8 events, which kind of sucks. In between these story events, you'll need to farm Horizon points. These are basically experience points. While I don't mind grinding, since Horizon 5 had some grind in there, the issue here is they've gone and split the racing events and side story events. In Forza Horizon 5, you could just basically do the side stories and get enough experience to level up and do the main story events. It was quite enjoyable to experience the side stories as I wasn't too interested in just doing the same old generic racing events that were static in nature. When I mean static, I just mean it's a race with markers and that's it. Nothing external happens and changes the outcome of the race. It's just a standard race. Whereas mentioned before, in big events, you get dynamic moments like the planes or additional racers coming out of nowhere and joining the race, and adding a little difficulty to the race. It's a lot more fun in these moments than the repetitive races you'll need to do to level up. In Horizon 5, the side stories gave tons of experience while engaging the players with doing fun activities. But in this game, for some annoying reason, the devs decided that side stories don't give Horizon experience and only standard races and side activities like speed traps and stuff give story experience. This is a huge issue as this adds a massive grind to be able to unlock the fun story events. The devs basically decrease the frequency and amount of story events and increase the grind it takes to get to them, while also moving the side stories to not give story experience and give a different kind of experience that unlock customization options, which are okay, I guess, but why not both? It was there in the previous game. It just feels like an arbitrary move to make us stay in the game longer and grind a lot more. And I believe this is because there's less story events to actually go through. I really did not have fun trying to grind these story experience points to unlock the special story events. The final story event needs close to 13k experience points. Each racing event gives about 300 to 350 experience, so that means you're doing over 40 of these races. The worst part is, the game runs out of races while grinding for the final event, and I was forced to do the side activities like speed traps and speed zones. Those give considerably less experience, and there's like over 100 of these on the map. The overall grind to get to the final event took about 4+ hours, and it really soured my experience with the game. I usually don't do the side activities like the speed traps and stuff and only really focus on the story stuff. And yeah, I really didn't care for them, so for me it was a painful slog to get to the story. It might not be for many people, as they might love to just do literally every aspect of the map, but for me, I like to curate my experiences, and the speed traps and speed zones and all this stuff. Doing 1 or 2 of them was fine, but like doing 100 of them just to unlock the final mission, that was just extreme. Now, I mentioned the map and the world is pretty massive, beautifully rendered and showcased in Japan nicely, but the world is pretty lifeless. Let's take Tokyo City, for example. It's usually crowded to the brim with people, traffic, wildlife, and whatnot. In this game, it's like a ghost town. There's barely any traffic, and if there's any vehicles on the road, it's just generic cars. No buses or trucks. The game has railroad tracks throughout the map. While you see these trains going, moving about during special events on these tracks, you don't actually see them while roaming the open world, which is kind of disappointing. I do remember in Forza Horizon 5, wild animals would come in front of the road and, impede your, basically act like little speed breakers while you're, exploring the cross country. Like you're basically, going trailblazing. It's kind of not there. There's no wildlife. There's really no wildlife that I saw outside of story event missions and side stories, which is kind of sad because, there's a lot, no foxes, no animals, nothing. There are some people on the side of the roads, but they look low quality and pretty much repeat the same old animations on loop. Most models also repeat, and for the most part, you can't even see their faces. I know, these are small nitpicks, but guys, come on, this isn't the first or second game in this series where we can kind of let these things slide and hope for the better in the future installments. This is the 6th iteration of the game series. We should want more, and the game should deliver more. I just felt like the game played it too safe, basically felt like a better Forza Horizon 5 controls-wise, in a different, bigger city, bigger map, but with less spectacle story missions and a ton more unnecessary grind to make up for the lower amount of story events. Now, the game is said to have over 550 cars. While I didn't acquire all of them in my 20+ hour playtime, I'll definitely need a lot more playtime than that. I did quite enjoy the variety as I progressed through the ranks. You get plenty of in-game money for completing races and activities, which can in turn be used to purchase all types of cars. The wheel spin returns and does help with adding cars to your collection as well. Overall, no issues there. While I like racing games and have played tons over the past couple decades, I'm not a car aficionado, so I won't be able to go into detail here. There will be channels that are owned by car fanatics who will go into details about every aspect about cars within the game, including the tuning and stuff, so I'll just leave it at that. I also won't be commenting about the soundtrack in the game. While it is extensive, I had to mute the music. Reason being, even in streamer mode, some music was still being claimed and blocked, and this happened in Forza Horizon 5, and I basically muted the music in-game. And just like last time, I listened to my own playlist on Spotify while playing the game. Honestly, most people will be doing that, and I also recommend people to do that, as it gives you a lot more customization, a lot more, a personal touch while you're racing in the game. Now, I already mentioned how the visuals of the world look great. This goes for the car models as well. Very well detailed, but I did notice some visual glitches when it came to shadows bugging out on the cars and when exploring the world as well. I also noticed that sometimes the lighting felt a bit flat in certain moments. This wasn't always the case, but once in a while, I did notice the odd lighting here and there. The sound design is really solid, but I would recommend people turning down the tire volume, as it really overpowers every other sound in the game, even the music at times. And after a couple hours, my ears started hurting. Lastly, in terms of performance, the game ran smoothly in performance mode, solid 60 FPS. I didn't really see any drops as well during my time with the game. No crashes as well. I had one instance where the game's sound basically died when I tried using the quick resume feature on the Series X. A quick restart of the game fixed that issue. Other than that, no issues at all. The game was quite responsive to your controller inputs, loaded the menus and events quickly, with the odd long loading screens when transitioning between the open world and racing story events. There's no real point in me talking about the performance in super detail other than what I really experienced with the game while playing it. I'm not some tech guru who can go into details with the game's performance and stuff. I'm sure at this time this video goes live, Digital Foundry probably has a full technical analysis and breakdown at the same time, along with other channels that do this as their job. They can pretty much dissect the game frame by frame and pixel by pixel, so you guys can check that out for that. Overall, I do think the game is fun to play, even with the issues I mentioned above. The grind can be excessive, which the devs should tone down, but it's a chill, relaxing game to play, and most people will be pleased with it. Like I said before, for a sixth game in the series, it really doesn't do anything spectacular other than that robot race. I really enjoyed that, and is more of what Forza Horizon felt like, with some additions and a brand new map. I did enjoy Forza Horizon 5 a lot more, and it's not just nostalgia from when the game launched 5 years ago. I recently played through the whole game on PS5 Pro to get ready for Forza Horizon 6 this past week, so the game is still fresh in my memory and experience, and I can kind of tell which is the better experience. Still, for people who want more of what Forza Horizon 5 offered and enjoyed that game, will undoubtedly enjoy this game. And let's be honest, no amount of reviews and outside opinions is going to change your decision to get in the game. But if you experienced Forza Horizon 5 and wanted something drastically different, or something, innovative, or something huge additions to this game, this new one really isn't it. Other than the new map to explore, the game really doesn't do anything huge that, makes you want to say, hey, I have to play that game. It's more of the same, so you could probably wait for a sale. But for me, after finishing the story, I pretty much am going to do the post-game content that unlocked after becoming the legend. Well, that's just me. I enjoy playing this game. It's relaxing when I'm not really grinding and I'm watching anime on the side while playing the game. So I pretty much enjoyed my time with the game, even with all the issues that I've outlined. So yeah, I guess I'll see you guys online. I might do an online impressions video later if people want to see that. But other than that, that's it. I pretty much mentioned what I wanted to say and what my experience with the game was. Hope you guys enjoy it. Thanks for watching. I know this might be a little shorter and a little different to what my reviews and my preview impressions are usually like. I just wanted to try something different where I just listed the positives and the negatives and what they could actually improve on. Just to see if people like this kind of format where it's a little more casual and not so super intense like an essay type situation. But yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Take care.